Hi everyone and welcome back to SGTV. We're in sunny Leicester today. We've come to visit Leicester College where we're going to be talking to some of the staff, some of the learners about their learning experiences, some of the methods and equipment they have for teaching. And this is aimed at learners out there or prospective learners to help you guys understand what it means to become an apprentice, a student in the electrical industry. So let's head on inside and take a look around. I can already see we've got Neil McManus at the top of the stairs. Neil,
welcome Ben, back to Leicester College.
Having us.
Great to have you here. Let's go upstairs and meet the students.
Okay, show us the way. So we're here with Derek Waters, who is a lecturer here at Leicester College. So Derek, you took us into a classroom here full of students. I know nothing about this kind of thing, of these boards. So could you, just tell us a bit about sort of what you do here, and then we'll talk about what the boards are and how they work with the students.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to SGTV at Leicester College.
There we go.
So I'm Derek Waters. I'm one of the tutors here at the college. What we have at the moment is a group full of learners who are studying on the wiring regs. They're working towards a design unit and bustle in the background. What we brought you to is some of the support materials that Scolmore have provided for us by a click over the years. And we're at a point where we have some learners coming in just to update on the consumer unit. Again, your new product, your Electrician, has been installed. So again, support from Scolmore for us.
Could you just tell us sort of what this board's for?
Yeah, absolutely.
What they're doing with it?
Yeah, the board we've got here is for inspection and test. Okay, so we use it for some of our short courses, City and Guilds 2391 inspection and test. It's also been provided with faults on it, so it allows us to put faults on the rig. So a learner comes in, carries out a full range of dead tests, live tests, does all the documentation, and then goes on and we introduce faults, and the learners have to use dead testing to identify faults on standard electrical circuits. Okay, so we've got a ring main, we've got some steel wired armour, okay, in a three-phase motor circuit, three-phase panel, we've got a sub-main board, a single-phase sub-main board, and again just feeding some lighting circuits and a couple of radial sockets.
So a lot of the boards that you've got in the classroom here, we're going to go talk a bit more in depth about some of the others, but this is more of a condensed version of what they're going to be finding on site and just giving them a bit of a practical idea of how it links up and works.
Absolutely. Everything we do at the college is simulated. Okay, and again, we try and make it as realistic as we can, but obviously you can see everything is confined into a board 1.5 meters by 1.5 meters. So again, it gives them all the kind of items they need to work on, but again, obviously not buried in a plant room, right away across the factory. Okay, so contained, as you said.
Okay, and you've got a couple of students who can be talking to us about sort of what they're learning and how they're finding these kind of boards.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Ben, this is Bailey Grant.
Hi, Bailey. Nice to meet you. Say hello.
Hello.
And Cameron Robinson.
Hello.
So how long have you been here at Leicester?
A few months, quite a while now.
Yeah?
The guys started back in September, okay? And both the guys are on our T-level qualification.
So what is T-level? Just because the purpose of this video for our audience, we're doing it for prospective learners, people thinking about getting into the industry, people already in the industry who might not be where they are at that point. So just give us a bit of a
I'll start you off with an overview, and the guys can tell you whether they like it or not. T-level is a new qualification, so it's a full-time qualification, and basically the difference between it and the previous technical qualifications is that as part of the qualification the guys have to do an industrial placement. Okay, so again they do 315 hours placement at work. Okay, you can see Cam is sporting his industrial placement employer. Okay, and Bailey's been out as well. With that, it's 45 days, 315 hours, but what it does as part of the course is it gives them practical hands-on real experience. Okay, so prior to the T-levels, what used to happen was people would come in, young people, they do these technical qualifications, they do a level 2, a level 3, and then would just wait for the job to come to them. With the new T-levels, it more or less just kind of gives the guys an opportunity to do it as they go. They show their skills, they show good timekeeping, good attendance, good attitude. Okay, and that effectively gives an employer an opportunity to see whether they like them and whether they want to keep them on. So T-levels for us is very successful. We've committed a lot to it. Okay, and again, like that, we're getting employer support And again, the guys, well, over to the guys. How are you guys finding it?
It's good. It's a lot of practical work, which is good. And
Do you find that's good for learning though, the practical
Yeah.
side of things, rather than sitting there looking at a piece of paper
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something on screen? The practicals
get a lot
really.
more out of it. when
Yeah.
you do it like that.
I mean, with these boards, we often, whenever we're talking to electricians who 10 years into the industry, 1 year, they're saying these boards are good for learning your basics of, circuitry and that kind of thing. But then when you're thrown into a building site or a house, whether it's domestic, commercial, industrial, how do you find this translates?
It's a lot different.
Yeah.
Because like here it's just like on boards, but like there it's like in walls and everything.
Bit of a change.
Because when you're in a house, like in tight spaces, and
Yeah.
when it's here, it's open, so it's easier to do it here.
So what's your next sort of step in your progression here at Leicester College then?
Well, I'm gonna hopefully try and find an apprenticeship
Yeah.
after.
I'm looking for an apprenticeship as well, but if not, then I'll just carry on the course, doing work placement.
So we're going to be talking a bit more about some of the other boards and sort of
Yeah,
what they're for really, and
Yeah,
hopefully that
absolutely.
helps our viewers out there who are thinking about getting into the industry. Watching people like the apprentices and students here, you're seeing first-hand experience of how they're learning, how they're then going on to getting different experiences and hopefully apprenticeships and placements. You're already in a placement, aren't you?
Yeah.
So there we go. It's already working for you.
Yeah.
So let's head on over to the next board and see what's going on over there.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So Derek, you brought me over to another little workstation here. Loads of fancy buttons and switches that I might just start fiddling with. I'm not going to break anything, hopefully. So what's the purpose of the pod you've got here then?
Yeah, what we've done in this area is obviously to try and make this as realistic as possible. We have a three-phase supply fed in, okay, and we've got protection devices. So we've got a three-phase supply, we've got a single-phase supply, and we've got a reduced voltage supply at 110 volts. What that allows us to do is energize circuits. So with the learners, we need to try and do all range of testing. So we'll do full inspection, we'll do dead testing. And when it comes to live testing, obviously we have to be careful. Anything is done is under complete supervision. So you'll have a tutor with the learner here. We'll connect it up from the supply to one of the panels or boards that we're working on. And the guys will have to carry out a range of live tests. Okay, starting with the likes of live polarity. They're going to do external loop impedance, prospective fault current, loop impedance tests, RCD tests, and then a full range of functional tests as well. So again, as we said earlier, we can't make it the real world here because everything we do at the college is simulated.
Yeah.
But we need to make sure we put across to the learners the danger, okay, and making sure they're safe while they're carrying it out. So it allows us to do it in a kind of controlled environment. They see the equipment again. It's fairly much condensed into a small space. But I think it gives the learners the opportunity just to see what it is they're going to come up against when they do go out and work in industry.
I suppose once you get the basic understanding of the circuitry and the technology behind it, then going out into the real world and applying it, there's obstacles, as one of you guys mentioned, such as tight spaces and joists and all sorts.
Absolutely, yeah.
Fiberglass insulation, all the fun stuff. But once you've got that sort of practical idea of it, that's the idea that you guys are trying to teach in this environment.
Yeah, and I think for education, for us in the college, obviously it's not the same as industry, okay? We're gearing them up to go into industry. The skills they're going to get are from local employers, and they're the employers who've supported us through the likes of T-level industrial placements. So the learner gets the concepts and the ideas here, they get the processes, they get the opportunity to take a bit of time, stop and think about what it is they need to do. And then when they go into industry, they get an opportunity to practice that. And that's where the kind of fully rounded electrician comes from, because we can't do it here in the college. As you mentioned, access, roof spaces, underfloors, all kinds of stuff, okay? The everyday practical problems that electricians will encounter. But what we are doing is we're trying to make sure the underpinning knowledge, the theory, the kind of ideas behind why we do what we do is very clear to them before they go out there. And we get feedback from employers to say, that they've not got as many practical skills maybe as they'd want, but we also get feedback to say that they've got a good understanding of the underpinning knowledge. Okay, and that's our role at the college.
And I suppose you're putting the ball in the students' court in that way, aren't you? Because you're teaching them what they need to know, but you're also sort of giving them the opportunity to build their own experiences and take on that knowledge and apply it themselves. You can't spoon feed someone and when you're working with this kind of equipment, you know, that could potentially kill someone,
Absolutely,
whether it's yourself, a homeowner, or whoever, you need them to really have taken that information in. And if you're just drip feeding them, sending them off on their way, are they really getting that? You need to give them the opportunity to prove they're absorbing that knowledge. And, you know, this kind of setup you've got here, I suppose that's the best way you can do it, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. I've always said education takes time. Okay, so again, as much as we might think we can just train a learner in a couple, 3 weeks or whatever, it takes them time. They've got to do it over and over. They need to know why they're doing it. They need to know how they're going to do it. They need to make sure they're working safely. Okay, and as you said, they need to know what the risks are associated with carrying out electrical work. Because one day they're going to be out there doing it themselves, and they need to be safe. Okay, that's the single most important thing for all of us. We go to work to make a good living and have good times and stuff. We don't go to work to put ourselves in danger, so we've got to follow safety procedures all the time.
Yeah. I'm just looking around in the classroom here. Obviously, we've sort of spoke about some of the boards, but I noticed a lot of the guys here, they're all doing, are they all doing some kind of written test here?
What they're doing is they're in preparation. So these are our 8202 Advanced Technical Diploma students. And they've got an exam coming up just in the Easter break. So I think it's the 1st of April they've got it. So they're doing revision for that. And again, that exam will cover science, it's going to cover inspection and test, it'll cover fault finding, and it'll also cover wiring regs and design. So again, the guys are basically just doing prep on that. So you'll see on-site guides, regs books, you'll see some of them doing revision questions. We also have a tutor here, a part-time member of staff, who's was one of our ex-students. Connell and his twin brother came to us as full-time students, came through our full-time programs, went on to set up a company for themselves, and have now come back and are helping us out on a part-time basis to make the learner's experience more real, so they can relate where the guys are coming from, where our learners are coming from, and where they could potentially end up.
And that helps,
we like
it?
that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's one thing saying, yeah, you've got these qualifications, you'll then go out into the real world and get a job and experience, but you're not seeing that if you're not seeing someone coming in and saying, I've been here, literally in this classroom with these tutors doing what you're doing, and now I'm earning a good living, I've got a business, and I'm coming in to help. That's how people get inspired, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's just showing the young people that the route, because a lot of the times people go by what we tell them, okay, and again, that's absolutely fine. But you know, they need to see someone who's done it. They need to be able to see that someone who's just the same as them, a normal person, okay, got stuck in and made things happen for themselves. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, the T-level qualifications have now come on board. And what the government have done is more or less made that industrial placement a part of the qualification. So if they don't complete them 315 hours or 45 days of industrial placement, they don't achieve the full T-level qual. They've been given 2 years to get it done, but it's a game changer in my view, because it now ensures that every learner that comes through a T-level program is getting some hands-on real world.
A recent change, that is.
Yeah, we've started that in September. So again, T-levels were introduced. There were some site survey T-levels, I think 2021, but we've just started at 21-22. And again, we have 3 groups of Year 1 students. They'll move into Year 2 next year, and we'll have a new wave coming in as well. So the industrial placements, my colleague Neil McManus has taken on that role of working with industry and getting all the support and stuff. And again, it's just giving young people opportunities, okay? And after what we've all gone through in the last couple of years, God knows we all need some good opportunities for them.
Exactly, yeah. And you've got a lot of other departments, well, within this department, a lot of different parts of the building you're going to show us around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give us a bit of a tour of what else learners can expect if they were to come to not only Leicester College, but any college for that.
Yeah, absolutely, okay. What we've got in this room around us and stuff is we've kind of purpose-built these bays because electrical is really popular and construction on the whole is really popular. We've had to kind of extend ourselves in the college. So we're up here based kind of in the middle of the hair and beauty department, but they had a spare room and a nice opportunity to work in nice surroundings, okay, and an opportunity to get a haircut as well.
That's what I need. Thanks for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So Connell's been kind enough to join us on camera here. So we've had your lecturers singing your praises, saying how you've basically come to this college, you've done your qualifications, you've gone out into the real world. You've got your own business and now you're helping out here. So tell us a bit about that. How did that come to happen then?
So basically, Derek gave me a call and he's like, we need some help. So I came and gave a hand for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then after he said, can you carry on doing what you're doing in college? I'm like, yeah, I can come and give a hand. And that's about it so far.
But so how long ago was it that you finished here, actually learning?
Oh, learning, it's been about 10 years, but obviously
So a
you
long
do the
time.
short courses and
Yeah,
stuff. Stuff like
So,
that.
so 10 years ago you finished at Leicester College.
Yeah.
You've gone out into the real world,
Yeah.
set up your own business now.
Yes.
So what do you guys do?
We do mainly a bit of everything, to be honest. We do domestic, commercial, industrial, bit of everything. But mainly now we do mostly commercial and industrial.
Do you think it helps sort of the students? I mean, you've got a lot of students here. And we were just saying with Derek that I think having someone like you who's come through a place like this, you've gone out into the real world and you're face to experience, if you know what I mean. So they're actually seeing someone who's earning potentially well, they're doing well out of this kind of course. So do you find that it really relates to how the students learn?
Yes, it does, because I can give them my on-site experience as well.
Yeah.
So I can tell them, don't do it this way is a better way of doing stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll make stuff easier for them when they're actually doing their practical work.
We're going to be going around the college anyway. I want to thank you for joining us. We didn't plan on having you on the show, but the guys were talking so highly about you. So I want to thank you for talking to our audience.
Right,
and then we'll carry on and we'll check out the other part of the college.
All right, cheers.
Thanks for now.
Thanks.
Welcome back to the electrical workshops.
So I noticed you've got a lot of bays in here, all different kit and gear, all fitted onto the wall. So what's the purpose of this room and these bays?
The purpose of the base is so we can give each individual student, whether they're on a study programme or adult evening, wanting to upskill, the opportunity to work with all industry standard installations, whether it's from the steel trunking in conduit systems to PVC conduit, to the basic, if you like, PVC wiring of lighting circuits, domestic and industrial circuits. We're really proud of ourselves at Leicester College that we use industry standard CK tools that are fully insulated to protect the students. We really focus on safe isolation practices as well to support any learner with their future AM2
Probably
assessment.
the most important part of working and learning, really,
Without
isn't it?
a doubt, yeah, without a doubt. And again, the same thing's sort of happening here, apart from we're more focused on the three-phase installations in here. And what you can currently see is that we're currently upgrading all our old MCB plastic consumer units to the Electrician RCBOs in that. So we're really bringing students forward in their learning, not just practicing with the old MCB. We're mixing the version of learning up for them. And if you can see on the back wall, we've got some sample work that the students are currently working towards. So we like to set them challenging tasks where they'll produce and manufacture all the steel work and conduit, wire it up, and then practice their testing, inspection and fault finding on these rigs.
I'm seeing a lot of boards all look very different, so I'm assuming that each board is for a specific subject or module for the students.
Yeah, so this will be like a level 2 testing inspection board. So the students build it, then they practice determination skills on this board. And then the reason it looks like it's in a mess at the moment is because the learners are breaking it all down, ready to change it all and upgrade the boards. So that's the reason being. But you can see it's quite a good set. You know, the practice bubble set, their earthing and bonding with the Lagrange fixings, which are the latest on the market. We get them to practice data, cabling, just everything they're going to need in their AM2 to upskill them. So basically level 2 and then we start adding in some level 3 learning.
Start to make it a little bit more trickier for the
and
learners.
if anyone that finds this easy, then that's an advanced activity for them.
And what sort of age groups are you averaging for these sort of specifics here?
All ages. The 16 to 17s on a study programme will do this installation, but then our adult evenings that come they want to get into the electrical installation trades, they'll do exactly the same one, because they all start from the basic, or no skills.
Yeah,
and we'll build them up and develop
That's one
them.
thing I wanted to talk about. I mean, the purpose of this video today, it's for learners or prospective learners. So whether that's young guys and girls or adult learners thinking about changing and getting into the industry. So places like Leicester College, they're geared up for that kind of learner then? Yeah,
it's not just about, we're not just geared up about making an electrician for a domestic house basher, if you like. We're really skilled up on opening up other avenues, such as smart home technology, which the Scolmore group are leading the way on, fire alarm systems, you've got your ESP.
Yeah.
And so we're looking for every opportunity we can to get the UK highly skilled and young people into filling these trades where there's a skill shortage.
Yeah, and I suppose by showing them as much as you can, different people from the industry, different aspects of it, that's hopefully just going to open their eyes up to the many possibilities they can take.
Exactly what we need.
So you've got a lot of different buildings and departments within this department, and you're going to be taking us over to, you're actually going to be handing us over to another lecturer who's going to be taking us over to one of the other departments, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll get Derek to take you over to the Renewable Center, and you can see the renewables that we use, and also our specific testing, inspection and fault finding area.
Sounds good. I'll let you show us the way. Okay then, Derek, so you've led me down some winding corridors into this room here. So what's this place then?
Okay, this is the renewables department. Again, electrical is so popular, we have to extend everywhere we can go. So renewables was set up quite a few years ago. Okay, wind turbines, solar panels, lots of kind of plumbing renewables and the likes as well. But we've kind of grabbed some of that area to do a bit of work. So I'll take you up here and just show you a bit. Some more kind of click kind of hardware there, okay, which is just for our open days and stuff. So again, also have the kind of Scolmore group demo house.
Yeah.
Okay, which allows us just to show some of the home automation and stuff that's in there. Okay, so again, we got that kind of donated to us by Scolmore. But what we mostly do in this room is just behind yourself there, Ben. Okay, we've kind of got two activities that go on. Okay, we do our 2391 inspection and test courses in here. Okay, and the rigs are just in the process of being overhauled. So again, we just need to have a set area for them dedicated short courses and stuff. Just behind this, okay, is fairly much just a blank board. Okay, but our apprentices and our trainees will come in and do Unit 107 on the 5357. Okay, and that's a terminations exercise. So they basically just install different types of circuits and just do terminations and check on it.
And that's all part of passing their qualifications then?
Again, depends on the qualification. Okay, the 5357 is for apprentices. Okay, the inspection and test 2391 is a short course for professional electricians. So again, we really just try and make the most of space that we have, okay, and just run things up.
So you've got some bits upstairs you want to show us as well?
Upstairs, so I'll just bring you up. Okay, so lots of change on the go at the moment. It's just in the process of being organised.
You could just blame it on the plumbers.
Absolutely, okay. The plumbers are coming in and taking out all the renewables.
Yeah. And you've even got the solar panels on the roofs outside there.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, the plan was to have, there was a great big investment by local companies for Leicester College. And the plan was to run lots and lots of renewable courses, and that was back when the feed-in tariff, the government was going to give you lots of money for harvesting your own electricity. Didn't quite work out that way. The demand hasn't been there as much as we thought, and again, for us in electrical, we just see that as an opportunity to grab and use some space.
Yeah, I think timing had a big part in that, didn't
Absolutely,
it?
yeah, absolutely. Okay.
But I mean, like you've got up here, you've got a lot of areas for the students to learn about the renewables, and I think that's definitely becoming more prominent now, isn't it?
Absolutely, okay. And again, we have the luxury of having kind of solar panels just up on the kind of tile roof there. We've got the photovoltaic cells out on the roof as well. We've got wind turbines. We've got a lot of good technology, ground source heat pumps, air source.
Does that play any part in the basic modules that the guys and girls will need for their qualifications?
Yeah, I mean, more so if you see the new qualifications, so the T levels are introducing a lot of sustainability, okay, and a lot of energy efficiency. So again, with energy prices going up and things being the way they are in the world at the moment, you're looking at a lot of ground source heat pumps, air source heat pumps. Big in Scandinavia, not so big here in the UK, but they're coming, okay, and I think that's a big change for the future. So we've just made a lot of use of the space down here, and this one for our inspection and test and fault finding assessments. So again, just used a bit of space here on the back wall. We've got kind of like a full installation almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot to look at, isn't it? It's a lot to.
Absolutely.
But I suppose that's a good way of learning, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it looks like you've got a lot of click products here, so that always makes it better.
Okay, really good quality stuff. Okay. The purpose of this one is assessment.
Okay.
So the learners come in, they train all the way through the year, and then when it comes time to check and see if they've got the knowledge and skills that they need, they do an assessment. So this one's for the City and Guilds 8202. Okay, so they're the advanced technical diplomas. The learners will come in, they'll have a 3-hour assessment on inspection and test. They'll have to do dead testing, live testing, do the documentation, okay, and do that in a time frame, which kind of makes it tougher on them. Switches up at the top as well then, which allows just to introduce different faults onto the circuits. So that takes us to the next unit. So they do inspection and test, and then they move on to fault finding. They come back in for another 3-hour assessment, but this time they use them skills they've got for inspection and test, and they use them to help solve and find faults on circuits.
Yeah, and as we said earlier, it's all contained in this way, because I mean, it's not like you can just plonk a house or an industrial estate and have cables going through the rafters and under the floor and all that kind of thing. So this way, it's just a good way for them to understand the basics and the systems behind it, isn't it?
Yeah, and for us, it's just about knowing what we are. Okay, as a college, we're here to help learners understand the underpinning knowledge and the theory. We can't do the real work that they're going to do when they get out there in industry. And that's why we need the support of employers, and we need the support of manufacturers like Scolmore Group and stuff, just to help them make it more real, get more understanding of what trade they've come into and the sector and the great opportunities there are within it.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, Derek, I think that brings us to the conclusion of our tour around Leicester College. I want to thank you and Neil, who's somewhere else at the minute, for inviting us down here to Leicester College. I hope people out there found this useful. As always, with the Scolmore SGTV channel, we're doing it for you guys and girls to make it easy for you to see what other people are doing, how they're going about it, how they're going about their learning, their working, setting up their businesses. So if you're in the area, if you're thinking about coming to college, if you want to enroll, obviously Leicester College is a great option. Please, give these guys some thought when it comes to that.
Absolutely, and thanks for SGTV for coming in to see us today and meeting with us and some of our students.
Absolutely.
And anyone who's interested in electrical courses, just get in touch with us at Leicester College.
Brilliant. As always, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button below, and we'll see you next time.